I started the journey with Temasek without an idea of what the end point will be, except that we should be better than where we started. I took a lot of time digging up all the files to read the history, because in a way, when you go to a new place, you have got to respect the institution, the people, try to understand where they're coming from. And so by the time I took over as CEO, I knew the people, but I also had a sense of the history. You get a sense of people wanting to do better, wanting to do more, wanting to look beyond themselves. And so that was, to me, the DNA of Temasek, that sense of being able to take on more, being able to rise up to the challenge was still very strong. And the question is how to open the horizon for these, how to give them the space to play to their strength. My first priority was actually succession, because I think you want to build an institution beyond yourself, and therefore you want to build a team from which you can grow the next generation leadership. So growing that leadership, growing the experience and the confidence to take decisions, filling out the team. And then the second was really to say, look further, 10 years. But even as we do the day-to-day, even as we look at issues, we have some idea of this longer-term horizon that we are navigating towards too. And that was where we came to the conclusion, as an example, that Temasek had been successful in the early years growing with Singapore. And if we look around the world, it was like you could feel that Asia was on the cusp of being like a Singapore, ready to take off. And so we decided that we would want to make Asia our backyard and grow with Asia. It's getting people used to the idea that there's change, accepting it, and welcoming it. So having Temasek version 1, 2, version 3, version 4, version 5, I think now you're in version 9 or 10, right? Because even Dylan is also pushing. And that's because the world is changing and changing very fast. Asia itself is changing very fast. We are a long-term investor, right? I like to think of ourselves as an intergenerational investor. So when you think in terms of intergenerational, you have a responsibility towards the people who may not be born, who may not be in your organization. I start from the premise that a company is like a living being. It's like an organism. It's made of people, yes, but these are living, breathing people, thinking people. And to be a whole person, you cannot just be looking at making money or stamping a check. There has to be meaning. There has also to be the different aspects which can energize your own people to be whole persons themselves. I always feel that for any company, any organization, it's not just the legal license to operate, but the social license to operate. And in order to earn that social license, you have to put back something into the community. And by putting back something in the community, it's almost like if you are going to harvest, you better fertilize. You don't want to soak up, extract all the nutrients from the land and not put something back, because then this land can no longer produce for the future. We should do something with what we inherited. So it's very hard for me to go and say, what are my hopes and dreams? Because how Temasek will evolve will depend on the different generations. I would say the most amazing part was when Dylan went through the purpose journey. It was a surprise to me, but it was a very, very pleasant surprise to know that Temasek staff whether you're in Singapore or in New York or in Mumbai or China, the thing that they almost unanimously agree on is the generational bit. There was this commitment to the future generation, to something larger than themselves. Clearly, I hope that this sense of purpose, this sense of this shared values will still be there, because with that sense of purpose and shared value, the organization will survive and will deliver. Will deliver not just for Singapore, but for the larger whole.